Ladies and gentlemen, my name is BrendenPlayz. This is Total Extreme Wrestling. We are in week 2 of September as we continue building on to our next pay-per-view, which will be Full Gear. Now, Full Gear week, well, it's a little bit far away for us at the moment, so we are still focusing on just building up our shows, continuing our storylines, creating new storylines. So let's have a quick little recap of what we've been up to. Storylines-wise, Baker and Sheeta still going at it. We've added a new one, though. We're going to try and bring a couple of other tag teams into the mix with Private Party and the Butcher and the Blade. I still feel like Private Party has been pretty underutilized. I think they're a great tag team, and I'd like to maybe try and move them up. And the Butcher and the Blade, I'm not too crash hot on them, but so far they've been okay for us, so we'll try and get them into the mix as well. And both teams get a chance to get a bit of TV time, maybe on Dark, maybe on Dynamite, we'll see. Cody and Miro will still compete for the TNT title. We've just really kind of started that one recently. 70 storyline heat, FTR and the Young Bucks. So the Young Bucks are going to demand a rematch, so we might do a rematch, and that may be the official number 1 contenders match or something like that. We'll try and do that soon. Kenny Omega is only 5 days away from returning, so next week's Dynamite, Kenny Omega will be back. So we can start to really think about doing the Guevara and Jericho versus Omega and Page match, which I feel like could be our best match in the series. Very much so looking forward to that. So not too far away from finally having that match. So that's pretty exciting. And then we might shift that over to Adam Page versus Kenny Omega. And then most likely, probably FTR versus Inner Circle, or maybe even the Young Bucks versus Inner Circle, whatever we choose to do. Matt Hardy and Brian Cage, we're just about to kind of kick that one off, and that's really just about moving up into the rankings. MJF, John Moxley, we're going to keep that going. Nightmare Family versus Eddie Kingston's The Family, I guess you could call them. So we're starting that one. Will Hobbs, Ricky Starks, we're about to start that. And of course, 4-way for the women's number 1 contendership spot. Now, the other thing we've just reintroduced, one of the big things that AEW does is focus on their rankings. Now, I feel like they do a pretty poor job of doing it. They kind of still just throw number 1 contenderships out of nowhere. But I'm not sure how we're going to go with this, but I've decided to do my own top 5 rankings based on what's happening right now. Now, this is just my own personal opinion, so I've kind of just thrown this out there. But, we've got a top 5 for the male, female, and tag teams. So let's have a look at the top 5 for the male. So you've got Chris Jericho, you got Adam Page, Matt Hardy, Brian Cage, and Lance Archer. Now, I'm taking into effect, the amount of wins they've got, their win-loss records, who they've beaten, and someone like Miro, who may be the number 1 contender for the TNT Championship. That was kind of a win out of nowhere situation. Well, he's only had 1 match or 2 matches, so he hasn't. He shouldn't be in the top 5, so to say. Female, we've got Sheeta, who just lost the title. Chris Statlander coming off a win against Bea Priestley, Priscilla Kelly. Nyla Rose. Allie's still up there, considering she has a decent record, and wasn't that long ago she was in the title hunt, so she's hanging into the top 5. And Ivelisse as well is working her way through it. Currently top 5 for the tag teams, we've got FTR. They're actually ahead of Adam Page and Kenny Omega, just simply because Page and Omega haven't been competing as a team for the last couple of months. Young Bucks, Jurassic Express, and Best Friend. And also, we've got a note down here. We're going to bring back Pac in November, because obviously he's just come back in real life. So we're going to replicate that in our game and bring him back in about November. So I think Pac, his stats are simply incredible. Let's have a quick little look. His in-ring stats, basics 85, selling 88 is huge. Even his mic skills are in the 60s. You could definitely work with that. 77 star quality, 82 aerial, 85 flashiness, and the psychology still is there with 70. He's all round very, very good. He may be a major player for us. He's got 57 pop when he comes back, 34 years of age. He's definitely someone that probably deserves to get that monster push when he comes back, and really have him go on a tear. Maybe AEW champion potential for sure. He's got the stats to do it. It'd just be whether we can get his popularity there. But if not, at least TNT Championship. Might not be a bad idea to bring back Pac and have him feud with Miro if we're going to get the belt on Miro, and have Pac versus Miro for the TNT Championship. That could be really, really good. So something to think about in the future, but we'll definitely be bringing him back in November. And these top 5 rankings that we mentioned, we're going to try and update that regularly. And this will be a way to kind of get us, you know, a bit of a picture of who do we push next or who should be in the title hunt. It's just a bit easier for you guys as well to kind of see who we're looking at really pushing hard and kind of getting into top spots. And also, like we said, you know, we're doing a storyline right now, Brian Cage versus Broken Matt Hardy over, you know, the rankings, basically moving up the ranks. So they're kind of fighting over 3rd place at the moment. So that's an easy way to also add in a few more storyline elements into the show, rather than just doing, okay, this guy wants to fight this guy just because, you know, at least it has a little bit more of a purpose. You know, even if it is generic, even if it is simple, it's still effective enough and still kind of makes sense. So that's kind of where we're going with that, at least for now. Other little things, the Acclaimed, we've got them. So they're another new tag team we're bringing in. We're also looking to sign a couple of others. So the Young Bucks, they're going to be taking on a new tag team known as Top Flight. Angel Dorado and Airwolf are the members there. And Red Velvet, she's been appearing a little bit more. She even got a match on Dynamite, so I'm going to bring her in as well and make her a permanent fixture. I know that new girl, Jade, I'm going to bring her in, but she's not currently in the database, so we can't sign her yet. So when she's created, then I'll sign her up. Red Velvet, her stats are pretty poor, honestly. There's not a lot of potential there, so we've just got her on a handshake deal if she does agree to it. And probably just a low end, maybe a jobber, honestly. And this new tag team of Top Flight, again, they're not very good in the TW world. 76 flashiness is not bad, but they are 21 and 19, very, very young. So that's kind of a little bit of a bonus there, that they've got a lot of time to improve. Angel Dorado has 86 flashiness, which is very good, actually. Good stamina, good athleticism, so he's a good athlete, but the rest of his stats are pretty poor. But obviously 19 years of age, very young, and a chance that he may, of course, improve. So looking forward to seeing how they go. Again, probably another low-end tag team, considering they're very new and very young. But what we do probably lack in our tag division is a couple of little, you know, jobber tag teams, if you want to use that phrase, or, you know, lower card tag teams. You know, we really have been picking on Alex Reynolds and John Silver a lot for that role. You know, John Silver's quite an entertaining guy, so you probably could get a little bit more out of him. And, you know, the Acclaim might help fill that void. You know, the Initiative, they do a job there as well. But a lot of the other teams, we don't, you know, Janella and Kiss, they're another probably low-end tag team. But most of the other teams, you know, are genuine tag teams that we want in the mix of some sorts. And they're all potential players in the tag division. So we don't want to, you know, have them get beat too much. So introducing a couple of low-end tag teams might be a good little thing just to stop a lot of those top tag teams taking losses. So for short term, it might not be a bad idea for us to try and do that. And we might even find a couple more, or if, you know, obviously if AEW keep making signings in real life, we'll look to represent that in our game, of course, if it makes sense. So we're going to look to book this week's episode of Dark. Things are going pretty well in terms of our backstage locker room. We're still in a good position there. Not too many issues to really worry about, which is a little bit of a relief, considering, you know, some of our old saves, we've had a lot of dramas there, but so far things are going pretty well. So we'll look to try and continue to build some of these new storylines. You know, we definitely want to try and do a little bit more on Dark. I feel like at times we're just doing some random matches, but we still need to do that because a lot of guys, as we mentioned in the last couple episodes, are really struggling with momentum. So if we can get them more momentum and use Dark as an avenue to do that, that will probably help us long term. So we'll go ahead, we'll book Dark, and we'll show the results. Okay, AEW Dark, let's take a look. And pre-show match, we had Brandon Cutler versus Shawn Spears. We gave Shawn Spears the win. I still want to try with Shawn Spears. I still want to see if we can get anything out of him. If we can turn his momentum around, maybe he'll gain a bit of popularity. Maybe he'll move up. So a win here for him. Spears 40, Cutler 30. Now Brandy Rhodes, I completely forgot about her as a potential wrestler. Now there's a good reason for that. I don't particularly want to see her wrestle, but I figured let's have a look. Let's see if she can do it. 38 performance from her, Bea Priestley 27, so we gave Brandy Rhodes the win. Probably going to look to get rid of Bea Priestley. The crowd have been pretty negative towards her, and we haven't had much luck with turning that around, so maybe we might move her on. Brandy, not bad, 36 match, maybe there's something there. Proud and Powerful took on the debuting Acclaim, so we figured let's give Acclaim a chance to see what they can do against a pretty good tag team of Proud and Powerful. And Proud and Powerful is a bit of a team that we've neglected. We haven't really used them as much, I feel, as we should have. So here's a chance for us to try and turn that around. Santana 57, Ortiz 61, Max Caster 22, Anthony Bowens 21, both getting a great initial rating for their new gimmicks, which is fantastic. So that's a good start to their run here in AEW. So I feel like there's a bit of potential there, both performing around the low 20s, so not so great with their performances in the ring, but both have good gimmicks, so there's a good chance we might be able to do something with them at least. So Proud and Powerful pick up the win. Taz is backstage talking to Ricky Starks and offers him some advice on how to deal with Will Hobbs, and even offers his services to Ricky. So I do like Team Taz or Team FTW. I'm going to probably call them FTW. I do like the group. I feel like, initially we're going to go with Ricky Starks with Tully Blanchard. I was happy for Brian Cage just to be on his own, Taz focusing on him, but I don't mind this pairing. So I'm going to replicate it here, and we're going to go with it. Ricky Starks probably doesn't need a manager. He's much better than that, but I feel like with his popularity being so low, this is a way for us to get him in some better quality segments, and Taz will help do that, same with Brian Cage. So we advance the Starks and Hobbs storyline, 49 rated segment, and we'll probably move Starks away. I think I've still got Tully as his manager, so I need to get rid of Tully and Starks. Big Swole took on Diamante one-on-one. Diamante picked up the win, 12-minute match, probably a little bit too long. Crowd didn't have much interest in it, unfortunately. Both women performing at 28. Okay. So we had Vicky Guerrero on commentary to watch this one as well to advance the storyline, but didn't quite really hit the mark. We needed Diamante to pick up a win to kind of get her in the mix, but yeah, didn't quite execute so well there. Kara Shida had an interview with Alex Marvez regarding her loss against Britt Baker. Wasn't sure how Shida would go on the mic, but I figured, you know what, let's just do it, see how she goes. You don't know until you try. 37, not too bad. Brian Pillman took on Eddie Kingston one-on-one. Pillman 35, Kingston 48, 45 rated match. Eddie Kingston picked up the win in about 7 minutes. A pretty easy win for Eddie Kingston. Not too bad of a performance by Eddie, actually. 48, that's pretty good. One of the reasons why we did it is to follow it up with this segment. So we had Eddie Kingston basically laughing at Brian Pillman, saying, is this the guy who's meant to take my family down? This guy I didn't even break a sweat to beat him. Well, QT and Dustin Rhodes took exception to that. They came out and they brawled with Rey Fenix and Penta El Zero. So nice little back and forth there, advancing the storyline, and also getting Brian Pillman in the mix again as well, continuing his development. And 45 rated, not too bad. I feel like, it's probably on the lower side of what we're looking for this one, but it's a good starting point anyways. We can try and look to improve it in the next few episodes. Main event, Matt Hardy versus Colt Cabana for 52. Matt Hardy 59, Colt 42. We had Taz and commentary for that one. Wanted to get Matt Hardy a win. Obviously, he's high up in the rankings, so we wanted to give him another win to keep his momentum going. Post-match, Brian Cage is not very impressed with Matt Hardy, so he decides to jump in from behind and beat him down to send a bit of a message to Matt. So we advanced that storyline, gaining some heat as well, which is good. Positive segment for us, 62 rated. I'll take that. So overall, 48. So, we didn't have a strong match on the card, but that last segment was good. We got what we wanted out of that, and we also got a chance to, feature a few other lower card talents as well, get them a bit of TV time. So I'm happy with that. So 48 overall. Okay, Dynamite is booked. Let's take a look at the pre-show. we had Penelope Ford and Yuka Sakazaki for a 38 rated match. Penelope Ford picking up the win. Probably looking to get rid of Yuka Sakazaki soon. We haven't used her. I don't think she's going to come back to Dynamite in real life. So we want to keep things relatively relevant. And Penelope Ford, she needs a few wins, so easy one there. Janella and Kiss took on SCU for 48. Daniels best in the match, 51. Scorpio Sky, 45. Joey Janella actually pretty good, 48. And Sunny Kiss, 34. SCU, I still value them as one of our best tag teams, but we haven't been giving them a lot of wins as of late, so good opportunity for us to give them a win and try and turn their momentum around. Similar situation, Colt Cabana beating Pineapple Pete, wanting to get him a win, turn his momentum around. And again, we're probably going to look to get rid of Pineapple Pete so he can take a few more L's on his way out. And Eddie Kingston, 56 rated performance, wow. Beating Michael Nakazawa for 48. Eddie Kingston really good, but it was a wild brawl, so that was obviously the reason why he got a bit of a boost, but still really promising from Eddie Kingston. There might be something there with Eddie, and I still think Eddie's a very entertaining character, and I think he's got a good future for us. The main show, we had Adam Page in the ring with a steel chair in his hand, and he calls out the Inner Circle. Sure, he's drunk, a 5-on-1 situation. Why would he want to do it? They, of course, oblige. 5-on-1 ambush, but Kenny Omega comes in for the save. He's finally back. He's actually helping Adam Page for once. 78 rated segment. So finally, good to see Kenny Omega back and actually trying to help Adam Page for once. The Blade took on Mark Quinn for 30. Mark Quinn 39, The Blade 34. These two teams, Butcher and Blade, Mark Quinn, just don't have enough popularity to really do a lot. That's why we're trying to do the storyline to try and boost their popularity. And we had Ali interfere in this one to help the Blade win. So we're trying to determine, should we call Ali the bunny again or just keep it as Ali? I kind of just prefer Ali, but it would make more sense, I guess, with the bunny. But we're going to bring Ali back into the fold with the Blade and the Butcher. 30 rated for that one. We followed up with Adam Page and Kenny Omega. 79 rated segment, so this is good as well. So Adam Page is backstage questioning Kenny, where have you been? Why haven't you been helping me? I've been fighting the Inner Circle for weeks and months, and I get it, you're injured, but you didn't help me at all. So Kenny's got a few questions to answer there, and that was a 79 rated segment. Chris Statler and Diamante teamed up to take on Ivelisse and Nyla Rose. 42 for this match. Diamante really off her game, unfortunately. Nyla Rose was the best in the match, 42. Ivelisse 41. Chris Statler to 40. And Diamante just 27, a little bit low there. But that's good overall because, obviously our women is a really problematic issue for us, just trying to get them some momentum and trying to boost their popularity. It's a difficult thing. But a match like this is a good start, and it shows us there's a bit of potential there with some of our women. So I'm happy with that, 42. Tony Schiavone interviews FTR backstage, and they basically said, look, the Young Bucks, they want a rematch. They want to fight us again, but we're not interested. We don't care. You can do whatever you want to do to us. You can attack us. You can, ask Tony Khan. You can book us in a match, but we are refusing because we've beaten you once already. We don't have to fight you again. So the FTR are doing everything they can to get away from the Young Bucks and move on to the Tag Team Championships. I mean, that's kind of fair enough, right? Nick Jackson took on Angelico for 67. Nick Jackson, 74. Wow, that's one hell of a performance. 45 from Angelico. So we did a high spots match for this one. So I figured, these guys both have got great aerial ability. Let's utilize that. Let's capitalize that and put it into a match. Nick Jackson obviously benefited greatly from it, 74. So that's one thing I've probably done a little bit poor of a job of is having the Young Bucks compete more in the ring. Whether it doesn't have to be tag matches, as we can see. A singles match, Nick Jackson can still get it done. So 67, it's a good match. Cody Rhodes backstage hyping up a match with Miro and basically saying, look, he's really happy to see Miro in AEW and he's looking forward to the challenge. He wants to fight the best competition he possibly can, so he's looking forward to facing Miro. So 74 for that one, advancing that storyline. It is a babyface versus babyface storyline, and that's a tricky situation to be in. When you got a newcomer like Miro, yeah, you probably could have went heel with him, but the reason why we didn't is because we've got so many big guy heels, so this gives us something a little bit different. So I felt as though we'll keep him babyface and just have it as a genuine good competition, two respectful guys fighting it out over the championship. Speaking of big guys who are babyfaces, Will Hobbs. He had a 41 rated performance, beating Peter Avalon. The match was an absolute stinker. Not good. 14. Both guys just don't have enough popularity. But look, we got to get Will Hobbs more TV time. I've got big plans for him. I really see a lot in him, so I want to get him more TV time. But unfortunately, I guess he needs to beat someone of a little bit more note. But I don't want to sacrifice anyone to him at the same time. So we went with this, but yeah, it didn't quite work. Ricky Starks advancing the storyline with Will Hobbs, and he cuts a promo on Will Hobbs saying that he's not afraid of Will Hobbs. Even though Will Hobbs, he's big, he's bad, he's tough, Ricky's not afraid of anybody. 44 for that one. So that's good, considering he's got 20 pop, 44 rated segment for him, that's pretty good. And that's what we need to really focus for Ricky on. Talking segments will probably be the key to getting him over. Darby Allin took on Kip Sabian for 56. Darby 59. Wow. Kip Sabian 38. We've been really underutilizing Darby Allin, so I just wanted to get him a match, get him on TV, get him a win. That's really all it was. But a good match, 56. MJF. He's at his penthouse suite, enjoying the high life. And he says, even though Moxley crashed his celebration last week, he says he has still been continuing to celebrate and he failed to ruin the celebration. In fact, MJF, he's been traveling all around the country, celebrating in every different location, so everybody has a chance to celebrate with the champion. So MJF is making the rounds, doing all the media appearances, being the great champion that he claims to be. 83 rated for that segment there. And a good way to kind of get MJF on TV without having Moxley, and MJF in the same building, having them to have a confrontation. Because obviously John Moxley, he's pissed off that he lost the championship because of MJF's antics, so he wants to fight MJF ASAP. We do have Moxley in our main event, so we took a risk with that one, but we'll get there in a sec. Miro is in action. He took on Frankie Kazarian. Miro, 67. Wow. They do have good chemistry, okay. So that's the reason why he did so well. But a 60 rated match, Frankie 48. That's good stuff, Kazarian, Daniels, those are two reliable guys to always have great matches, and they continue to do that. I probably don't use them enough, but yeah, it's a way to kind of get Frankie involved. And Miro needed another win just to set him up for the Cody situation. And 67 from him that's really good. So that's good signs, really good signs for Miro. 60 rated match. Main event, yeah, okay. Took a risk. We didn't really have an opponent for John Moxley. And I got the Inner Circle guys, but I'm not really interested in having Inner Circle mix in with John Moxley at the moment. So I wanted to keep those two entities apart, and it really wasn't anyone else other than Lance Archer, Brian Cage. Yeah, those are big main event matches to save up our sleeve. But we did have Matt Cardona and Matt Sydal. I probably should have went with Matt Sydal in the end, but I went with Cardona. We haven't used him at all. I figured, let's give him a chance. Let's see what he can do. He performed at 41. So he's got 40 pop, 41 performance. Yeah, not good. Not good. Moxley, 80. We didn't affect the storyline though, so that's okay. But we just wanted to give Moxley a good, solid win in the main event. Maybe I should have cut the match length down a little bit to help Cardona, but I didn't. 62 rated. Yeah, that's okay. Moxley hit an 80, which is great. But Cardona just didn't hold up his end of the bargain, which I couldn't realistically expect him to do. I knew this was a risky match. I tried it, I went for it. It didn't quite pay off, and sometimes that happens. But we just struggled to find a main event where we wouldn't really ruin plans for other storylines, or ruin potential big matches for the future. So we had to go for a risk and do something different. So 62 there. 65 rated show overall. So we had some really good segments, just lacked probably that one good 70 plus rated match. So we had the Nick Jackson and Helico 67, which was good. But again, yeah, we had some good talking segments, but no big match to get us across the line. 65 overall. All right, the recap from Dynamite. Let's have a look. So we had a 65 overall show for 743,000 viewers. Now what we did do is we actually did sign an extra TV deal. I believe it was with ITV4. which only gave us an extra 3,000 viewers. But we are trying where we can to increase our international exposure. But a lot of the TV deals won't look at us really, so unfortunately. But we went with that anyways. Looks like Keith Lee's contract is up. Let's take a look at NXT before we get there. They had 67 rated show, 1.47 million. DIY beating Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan was the best match on the show. Jordan Devlin, he is the North American champion. There you go. He beat Pete Dunne. So that's interesting. Okay, Airwolf, he'll sign. So he's from Top Flight, so he'll come in. I think Babyface is probably the way to go. Those two young guys. Drew Gulak and Keith Lee's contract is up. So WWE are both trying to keep both of them, obviously. Keith Lee's got 52 pop. Again, I'm happy with the roster we've got right now. I'm not looking to sign any new WWE guys at all. But I guess what you could do is just put a bit of pressure on WWE to try and hang on to him. So that's probably what we'll do. And we'll give him $20,000 deal. Maybe 3 years. Yeah, he's pretty happy with that. So, just to make them pay that little bit extra to keep the pressure on them. Let's take a look to see if there was any other changes to popularity. We had some big segments in the end. We had some good talking segments. Adam Page, 62, 63. So he's on the move again. He had 2 good segments that episode, so no surprise, which is great to see. Anyone else? John Moxley, 71, 72 in another area. So he's, slowly increasing back to hopefully where he's getting closer towards mid-70s again rather than 70. And Kenny Omega, 68 pops, so no real change for him, but expect big things from him soon. MJF still sitting at 62, 63, which is obviously pretty good. Nick Jackson had a good match, no change from him. Miro at 60 still, which is fine. Darby Allin, 42, no real change there. FTR still sitting at 57, which is good. Sammy Guevara, 53, 54. He's just gaining popularity every episode. My goodness, he's got it easy. All those segments he's involved in, he just has it easy. Andy Kingston, 39, still has bad momentum. I'd love to change that and swing that around, but that might take a bit of time. Chris Statlander, 34. So she's gone up from 32 to 34. So she's had some nice improvement. That's good signs. Matt Cardona, no change from him, 40. Despite getting the big Dynamite spotlight. And anyone else? Let's continue to look. Maybe some of the women, hopefully. And Helico had a big match. He's at 31. So that was a good match from him. He and Nick Jackson had a really solid match, which is good to see. Diamante is at 19 popularity now. Moving up from 16 after that good women's match, which is quite promising that maybe we'll be able to turn these women around. Ivelisse, she's at 29 in the Southeast, which is, positive. No change, though, for her. And Mark Wen, he's at 25. The Blade, the Butcher, 27, 26. That's fine. So, there's a little bit of hope there that we can maybe move those guys up the card a little bit. Will Hobbs, he had a bit of a bad match, but still sitting at 29 in the end. So that's kind of where we're sitting at. I might just check some of the other women that were involved. Nyla Rose, 35 there for her as well. Okay, so things are looking pretty steady. We're now heading into the 3rd week of September. As we said, we're going to look to try and have a big major show, maybe the 1st week of October. I think that would probably be the 1-year anniversary of Dynamite, something like that. So we might time it in to have that as our big event, where we do go with FTR Young Bucks rematch potentially, or at least we'll do, maybe MJF and John Moxley. Maybe we go with that. I'm not sure. We might try and drag that out if we can to Full Gear. But at least the Inner Circle versus Omega and Page, we'll go with it. We'll do that on that one. And probably, Cody and Miro, I don't think we can drag that out all that long. So we might go with that as well. So that should be one of our big shows. And hopefully we can pop a strong rating for that one. With that being said, though, we'll leave it with that. Thanks for watching. We'll have more episodes coming up very, very soon. Hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe and leave a like to see more. And we'll be back with more Dynamite. As we said, big show coming up, so don't miss it. Thanks, guys. I'll see you next time.